Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, a podcast where we ask a band, artist, act, someone to come on, do some original music for us, generally 4 songs. We sit down, we have a talk. Tonight, our special guest, creators of The Fuzzy Pig, also what they call, what they say on their thing, they walk a fine line between stupid and clever, which is not true. What we've learned already today is that what they do is they create a vibe. This 3-piece fills up a ton of space, rhythmically beautiful, definitely play together, but what they really do is create a vibe in the room. They create an atmosphere with their music, and they create scenes. They paint pictures, not only lyrically, but with what they do on the music end of things. Tonight, our guest, Fuzzstration.
love you like hard rain, baby. Thought you were the one going through like hurricane, honey. Before I knew you belonged. Hard rain, hard rain, hard rain.
Everybody clap for y'all.
Howdy.
How's it going, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. I thought you were going to say, like, it was not a fine line between the stupidity. It was pretty sloppy. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
That's a good Spinal Tap reference.
That
You
was,
can't
that
go
was
wrong
really
with Spinal
nice.
Tap.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a Spinal Tap poster in the band room, and it kind of sets that and Led Zeppelin. It kind of sets the tone for what we're trying to do.
Honestly, these guys were in here, and I don't know if they heard me, but I started just cracking up when I read that. I was in there reading, I just started laughing out loud. And it was like a 30-second. I needed it really, but I just thought how it was hilarious. And then you guys walk in, and you really do bring a vibe with you. There's a funness that comes with the three of you guys when you walk into a room, when you show up on a spot, and then when you create music. I mean, that's totally what I got.
I mean, we've
quick.
been chilling for a long time
Yeah.
tonight, just hanging out, and you all are just like, you are just a vibe, like the three of you together. That's one of my favorite things doing this is like we meet bands every week, and there's always different dynamics in a band, and there's some bands that you can tell are just like friends, and you all are like obviously very tight. Yeah, just cool dudes. So it always makes it a little easier hang too.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we play music. It's fun.
Yeah, fun and
Well, you know what I've
help with
definitely
girls. Maybe.
Well, you guys definitely do a lot more than that, especially in the community, which we'll get into as we go along. We'll talk about Fuzzy Pig and the how in the world that came about and where it is now.
That's an interesting story.
Yeah, that is an
We got a lot of interesting stories.
We'll
for
get
y'all.
there. Believe me, we'll get there because, like I said, man, you guys are a lot more than just a band. You guys create something. But let's talk about the music first. Because definitely listening to what you have available and what you did tonight feels different. There's there's I don't know if it's more time together or what, but it was so clean, and you guys are totally like on the same page. And it's hard. Earl and I talk a lot, and Spencer a lot about how hard it is for a three-piece to do what you guys do, and it's not only fill up space, but you also create space for each other. Not only with the musical gymnastics that you all do with instrumentation, everybody seems to play a little bit of everything. So it is interesting to see how that dynamic is with a three-piece. So I guess we can start there. First, let's just go back and start how you guys got together as a group, as friends. How in the world did we get to the point where Fuzzstration became a thing?
Eric, you want to take that?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So me and Ryan, he's like 2 years older than us, so he was in school like 2 years older. But me and Ryan were in the same age.
Too, and they went to North.
Yeah. So we were in a band in high school called Downshift Dilemma together. Me and Ryan were, and once he ended up going off to the Air Force and everything, and once he got back, he actually came back for a vacation one time, and I grabbed Matt and I was like, "Hey, we want to play music together." And this was like 2015 or 16.
15.
Yeah, 15. And I was like, "Hey," and so we went over to the house, and I showed him every song for like an hour, and we played through each one. And then he went over there, and we had our first show that we didn't know was going to end up being Fuzzstration, but we played together.
It was his sister's graduation party, and we didn't know.
High school or college? High school?
High school.
All right,
It
so
was
are we
complete.
both playing guitars?
No.
Oh, it was him.
I was drumming.
I was
So
bass, and
this
he
was
playing
full
guitar.
band.
Yeah. This was
it was
actually
like-
our first Fuzzstration without knowing it
But
was
we didn't know it.
Fuzzstration.
But it was just
Yeah.
playing his sister's.
This was the graduation party band.
And there were some moments that it was definitely not like it is today.
It was just a jam.
Yeah, but there were some moments
There
where
were
we
some
did some
moments where, like-
stuff that it really connected,
And we-
we kind of remembered that. And so when he got back from the Air Force, we just started playing music together, and we were like, man, that was really cool. What if we got together? We actually had another guy in the band, Abe Roque, when we started.
Monster guitar
Yeah,
player.
great guitar player. But then he ended up leaving, and we ended up just becoming a three-piece.
Like,
and
let's try this on our own. Yeah, 3 people.
yeah, we just we kind of had a mission statement when we started, and this is what we tell people what kind of band we are. We are kind of that late 60s through the 70s like classic rock band, as in we are open to doing any genre style, but we have a mission statement of being a groove band. We want to like make you feel a vibe and a groove in whatever we do, but we're open to doing any type of genre or any type of thing as long as it's in our style. And that was kind of the mindset that we had going into this band. And then we actually did our first show 2020, literally like the day before or 2 days before
Right
COVID
before the
started.
pandemic.
We played our
Right
first
before.
show together as Fuzzstration.
It was crazy, yeah. And I've known Eric for a long time. Like his cousin and I were good friends in high school, and I got to know him actually. His dad before even him, Todd Rhodes, R.I.P., real legend.
Which we will talk about.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about.
But I was like, who is this guy? And then I got to know Eric through his cousin, and we were just friends. We'd go to his house and play video games and do other things and just play guitar in his room and just generally be dorks together. And then I was in a different band. And then when Ryan came back from the Air Force for real, and we'd already had that jam, it's like, I think you talked to me. It's like, let's do this, because my other band was kind of winding down a little bit at the time. It's like, let's do this for real. We've been friends for so long. And I didn't really know Ryan at all, but other than that one time.
I didn't know Matt at
Now
all.
I know too much. Now I know too much. Probably right back at me too, but and that it became friendship. We were all working at the same factory together too when he got back. So
You know,
and that's where like we were saying about like L-Nop and stuff. We would get off work and we go drink a lot of alcohol and then go jam. And we wrote a lot of songs like that first year.
yeah, just
And
jamming, just. You know, you don't have any songs built up yet, so you don't have to always be prepping for shows, and you can just kind of hang out and let it go free and easy. Sometimes I do miss those because you're always looking forward to the next thing. It's sometimes harder to find the time to just be friends in a room with no obligations, you know, but I still feel the same way about these fellas, obviously, but time can be a little bit, you know.
Yeah, it seems like
stretched.
anytime we're together and we just start jamming, like there's
Stuff
going to be
coming
some
out.
stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Like it's just, that's how we write. Like we want to be a band. And I feel like that's the difference between like, if you're a single artist with a group of people playing with you, it's like your thing. But true bands, I feel like, can jam together and create something that is an influence of every member of the band.
We bring in individual compositions sometimes, but like they all get filtered through. And honestly, our favorite way to write is just we all start playing together, and whatever happens, happens.
Do you find when you individually bring in a composition, even if you feel like, hey, this is pretty complete, it seems like you would be open and malleable enough to go, well, what do you think? And then does that change? Do you find a lot of times when you do have something that where you go, hey, here's this idea, I think it's pretty done, and then you get together, does that shift? Is there a change in that? Does that does the dynamic of what you guys bring together and create when you're in that room make that something different than maybe you thought it was going to be when you put it together? That goes for everybody.
I say 100%. I mean,
To be the one, right?
like to be the one. That last song I played on guitar, I wrote that on like lunch break, and like I went and sent in my truck.
Going to be the one to clock out would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know what you were thinking.
I went and
think
sent my
that.
truck on lunch break, and I had a little cool down electro, and I just hit that riff like first thing, and then I matched the chords up with it. I'm like, that's cool. And then I went to practice that night. I was like, check it out, guys. And it was a song without the lyrics in the first day.
And I came up with that kind of bass riff on the verse, and then Eric, like, that put him on the drum set, you know, right off, and we like to swap around, and he just starts doing these kind of Dio like screams. I'm like, okay, this is coming together. I don't know what this was, but like, it's better for being filtered through the three of us, you know, for sure.
Yeah,
And
definitely when there are songs there's a few different songs like Hard Rain, we played that tonight. That was completely done by Matt. That was written by him before the band started. But anytime that we do have one that me or him or Ryan wrote solo, once you start playing it in the band, you realize there's like your solo version of the song, and
It's
then
not
there's
the same.
the Fuzzstration version of the song, and they are different. There are things that you incorporate because you, like we said, you want the band to be the number one thing, and that means all three people need influence. Because if not everyone in the band isn't really adding to it, then I don't feel like you're a true like band. Like you really, like your sound needs to come from everybody having a contributing factor and being that thing.
Yeah,
That's what makes you.
totally makes sense. But I think it's an investment by everybody. It's a buy-in.
Yes.
And we're very open to like each other's ideas, and like
You got to be willing to compromise.
no one takes them personal when we're
There's
there's a
times-
suggestion or this and that. Like we do that a lot, but we've been doing it for over 5 years now. So like, it just works. So there's no hurt feelings. We just kind of work with ideas. We don't like it, scrap it. We just keep trying things.
And we sometimes do some other stuff too. So if something's not working in here, it's like, well, you can always do that in another place. But mostly, if we like not all the material I write, I think is Fuzzstration stuff.
Perfect, dude. You read my mind. You
Gosh,
totally looked at me, knew you.
That's why he keeps us on the rails. Without Eric, we kind of think like the band dynamic is like
Hey,
Trailer
nailed
Park
it.
Boys, 2 Ricky, but it's like there's no Julian. It's 2 Rickies and a Bubbles. Like,
It's not wrong.
I mean, it is what it is. I've accepted it.
That's great. That's so
What was
funny.
I talking about? I gotta go speak. to him.
Eric's the glue. Eric's the
Eric
glue.
is the glue. Yeah.
It's-
Eric's birthday.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Birthday, my man.
30th
Happy
birthday.
brother. Huh?
That's a big birthday,
Aw,
man.
thank
What is
you.
it?
30th.
Yeah.
30.
Let's raise a cheers.
Yeah.
To my
Thank
man
you very
Eric
much.
Rhodes. 30th
30th.
year on Earth, man.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, dude. Thank you for spending it with us. We really appreciate it.
Honestly, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
Man. So, since it's your birthday, you get to be the one, because I do want to kind of dive into you a little bit. I think both these guys, like they said, you're kind of the glue. And you played every instrument, so I'm assuming that you have, you also went to the Air Force, so you have.
No,
who went to the Air Force? You went to the Air Force.
Yep.
Okay, all right, even better. Because it takes away the structure part. That
That's
I was
why I'm
like, where's
crazy
the
now.
structure come
Where's
from?
Regimented living is not something we do well.
So, I guess the really want to kind of dive into talking about your musical background, because we mentioned your dad Todd, who was let's talk about him a little bit,
All right.
and talk about just kind of what he did in the scene growing up, because he was a big part right around the
Yes.
the
Huge
scene
part,
around
huge,
here.
huge part.
So let's just give a little shout out and nod to your pop for a second and talk about him.
All right. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about his influence for you as a musician, and where it started that spark and where it led you.
Okay. So, he started. I mean, they said we moved actually to Nashville for him to pursue a thing when I was 2 weeks old, Nashville, Tennessee. And when we went down there, he said on the way to Nashville that I was singing Running with the Devil, like coming along with it in the back seat at 2 weeks old. So he already was like ready for me to be a singer. But fast forward to like when I was like 5, he was in a band called Stepping Stone that was just a great band.
Awesome band.
Yeah, but he was in that band, and I remember going and watching him for my birthday, like 5th, 6th birthday or whatever, going and watching him play, because they were at a place you could have kids. And just being able to see him up there, and he had such a great voice and stage presence and just knew how to do everything. He taught me how to play guitar. Just honestly, most of my musical influence, especially my singing and stuff, I have a very similar style to him, just because I thought he really was a truly great singer. And honest, and throughout school, he ended up buying a BR 1600 and ended up like making a couple different albums and just going through all that different stuff. And he always had advice for us. Anytime we would be doing something musical, he would be out there supporting, taking pictures. He would talk to you, give you advice, just whatever you needed. He was always there for it. And so when we started, Fuzzstration, he was just really into it and really there for us. And I mean, we do Call the Raven, which is one of his songs. And I think we do a really cool version of it. And, the first time we played it for him, we didn't tell him. He showed up at one of our shows, and we decided to end the first set with it.
No.
And he like heard it, and he looked up, and he had a little tear in his eye. And
guarantee it, man.
Yeah,
That was
he
special.
loved it.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
really special to us.
That's killer.
But yeah, he's just been a huge influence on honestly all of our careers, anything we did
And
musically.
not just us, the scene in general.
Yeah, the scene
he
in
would
general.
post like on his Facebook weekly updates on gigs. and he would hand type in probably how many bands like.
Yeah, he would take 2-3 hours, whatever it might be, 4 hours, going through and looking up all the different venues, all the different
Who was
people that were
playing.
playing each venue, typing it
post it
all
every
out
week.
because he cared so much
He was
about
about to
the
sing,
Kentuckiana music scene
It was
and
a
just
true-
people, going out there and doing their thing. And like, he really, really cared about that. And that's one of the biggest influences that we have besides just the
Yeah,
music
huge
is
influence.
the wanting to support other people. Like, it shouldn't be like, it is a competition, I guess, to an extent, because there are certain things you go for, but like, in reality, you should be like happy and supportive of each other, and like
Totally, man.
we all go up together upstream. Like
We lift
like,
each other up.
We
Yeah.
all rise. Yeah.
That's that is a huge legacy to leave, not only you, but to the people that see that. And you guys have continued that with what you do, which is with Fuzzy Pig. I mean, there is something to being said about building a community, and the competition, I think, is so internal. I'm guilty of internal competition and this and that, but at the end of the day, you are correct. If you lift each other up, you all rise to the top, and you can support each other and do those things and build that community and make each other better. I like, what is it? Iron sharpens iron. Did they say shit like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Some people said that.
Somewhere somebody said
said
something
that.
like that.
No, I've heard that. I've heard that.
And it's true, because I think you can. Healthy competition is like, I love this band, I want to be as good as them.
Yes.
We are so blessed to play with so many awesome artists all the time.
Totally,
we just played that Moonshadow Festival.
Oh,
Shout out to
killer
Donald
lineup.
Vish.
Killer
Okay,
lineup.
we're gonna promote some shit for a second. Shout out to Donald Vish. Shout out to Lisa Vish. Shout out to Star and Shane. They just threw an awesome festival out there, and
Oh, it was amazing.
it was amazing. But to what you were speaking about, Neil, like we were on the same night as Blind Feline, as Oliver.
Love Ollie.
Ollie.
Love
Ollie's the
Oliver,
man.
dude.
The man. We all love Ollie.
Yeah, them
What a
and
monster. But
Justin,
Justin,
Elements, and
Villamere was playing on that same
Millimere,
lineup.
dude.
Complete monsters. Doom Gong. I mean, literally melted my mind. Hot Brown
yeah.
Smackdown.
What were they wearing? Were they all wearing blue
Oh,
jeans?
you know what they were
Were they in
wearing.
blue
Yes,
jeans?
they were.
They're
Yeah.
killing it, dude.
Yeah, it was so 3D. I thought, I was like, wow, this is like Technicolor, man. And
Yes.
it just straight. I mean, two drummers, one kit. But I don't need to go down the Doom Gong rabbit hole. We'll be here for a whole another hour. But all to say, like, seeing all this incredible music pumps me up, and then it makes me happy for, like, I get to play with these people that I consider friends and colleagues. But also, I'm like, I want to go home and practice some fucking guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be worthy to play on the stage with these same people, and to show up for our friends who are there to see us,
No doubt.
so it's all a thing. That's, I feel like, the healthier form of that thing.
No
But
doubt. That's the way to. All right. And before we go too far, what I do want to do is take a second. I know on Instagram, there's, what is it, Music 502? Is it something like that that has the weekly post?
I think it's just Louisville music.
Louisville, it's the best resource for exactly what your dad did. It is. I don't know if people submit or if they're looking for it or what
I
it
think
is.
both.
It's kind of a bit of both, but I've even DM'd whoever it is, run that, and said, "Hey, I just want you to know this is an awesome service that you're doing."
I find shows like that all the time.
Yeah.
Like my wife will be like, "What's going on this weekend?" And I'll be like, "Well, let me go.
Let me
look,
check. I
And
know
I'll
exactly
go find
where to
the
look."
shows."
Yeah.
And
hell yeah.
So-
I didn't know that existed. I used to know about Do 502 was the thing I checked back in the day, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
Do 502 feels like a little bit more corporate-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
like
I always
brand-
started to get that feeling
this-
and kind of got away from
This
it.
is your pop, dude. This is exactly what that is. This is somebody who is just putting it out there. They don't do it for money. They just do it because they're like, live music is cool and original music is awesome. And these are live music people playing stuff. And here's some, it's awesome. I know that, the last few times I've played, I've been in it. Earl's in there a lot. Anytime, it's such a great resource.
you should check it out for sure.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
cool.
I didn't-
Every week they post it. It's like day by day. It's like, and it's tons of shows.
I'm going
it's
to
very
use this
cool.
because I've been looking for something like that because I'm not on social media
Yeah.
so much.
We need to
so.
remember to tag them in the
Yeah,
be. But
definitely.
yeah, man. I also wanted to always shout out the Monarch. Monarch, we just did
For
our
sure. We love the Monarch.
Yeah, we just
man.
did our third
There's a third one.
Top Hill takeover at the Monarch, and they're always the best. But even beyond them, there are so many people like you guys. So we'll just talk about you guys right now. But you talk about Moonshadow. Well, you talked about Moonshadow, and there's so many places and people that are promoting this original music thing that's going on in
We
Louisville,
love
Kentucky, and
like little festivals.
It's
Like
the best.
that's the coolest. That's where I met you. Like a year.
literally, I remember you at Swarptober.
Yeah.
You and Casey and running into you guys. I was like, those are cool dudes. And I'm like, I didn't even know because I wasn't part of that open mic scene so much. And I'm like, wait, this guy's an awesome singer and songwriter too. And then Casey's killing the bass, I'm just like, wow, just everybody, it's so cool to see so many talented people all doing a different variation on the, and to lift their voices up together is so cool. And the thing is, you can ride the rail at these small festivals in a way that you can at some of these big places. They're like, that's my buddy up there melting my face,
Yeah, I mean,
It's cool.
that's like I said, I met you at Swarptober, and I've
Well,
mentioned
that
it
was
on
a
this
weekend.
podcast before, but I saw Cody Lee Meese that
Oh my
weekend.
God,
blew
dude.
everyone's faces away.
I was
And-
walking up to the stage and I was like, Eric and I thought it was
Thought it was the recording of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, well, I heard him do something different. Oh no, because we were playing Saturday Night Live. So it's we might need to step our game up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're what the fuck?
Speaking on that, I listened to the elements of sound on the way here, just kind of get an idea. And Jared mentioned smoking cigarettes is cool. That was me. Me and him when we saw Cody. We're like, fuck, we need to be smoking.
Also,
Yeah.
Dylan Forrester from Blind Feline makes a cigarette look really freaking good.
who does?
Shout out to Dylan. Dylan from Blind Feline might be the coolest dude around. I think that every time I watch him play bass.
Oh, dude.
But yeah.
There's some ultimately cool about bass players in general. That's
In
why
general,
when
yeah.
you guys switch it around, so it's you gotta step up your coolness, and you did. I don't know how you did it, but you're cool enough to be a bass player too. I've heard the shittiest jokes I've ever heard in my life have always come from bass players.
Yeah. They're thinking about the groove. They're not thinking about, being funny.
And they're thinking about the pocket.
Always think about the pocket.
Always in the pocket, dude.
Yeah, they're always getting caught like that,
All right, so let's talk about Fuzzy Pig a little bit from the beginning.
yeah,
How in
let's
the
do that, yeah.
world did you guys start this entire thing?
Take it
When a
Ryan.
galaxy far, far away, there was a man
Yeah, this is
and
more,
the mothership Led Zeppelin, and I'll let him take it from here.
this is more on me.
Yeah, it's very on him.
Y'all ever heard of Brady Evan?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Brady's been on the podcast.
Oh, cool.
He's a
I
good buddy.
didn't even know that. Cool.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's one of my best friends.
If not,
was
you
on-
should have him because
But
he
it was a
kills.
long, dude. It was a long. It may have been
he needs to get
right
back
after
on.
COVID.
He's
he
kind of
got-
got different. I think he's
Yeah.
got some new songs. New,
And he's
yeah.
a Brady's on TikTok like a mother.
He,
dude. That man posts
really
on
is
TikTok
on
like
there all the
crazy.
time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I
shout out
can't-
Brady Evan.
Yeah, I
22 on TikTok, I think, or
Hell yeah, shout out
Instagram, whatever
Brady.
it is.
For me, Brady's he blows my mind. He is a jukebox.
He is. He
Oh, he's
is.
one of those dudes. It's like, hey,
Dude.
play a song. He's like, here you go. Plays
Yeah,
it.
Songwriting machine. Just
He-
bow, bow, bow.
Oh.
I went over the other night. He's like, yeah, I've been working on this list of songs I know for 3 days. It's just on the notes on your iPhone. And I went through it, scrolling. He goes, yeah, I know every word. I can play all of them. Probably 200 songs. And he's like, I'm probably forgetting a lot of them.
I hope so.
And I said,
I'm
how,
feeling bad. If
and it's cool because I said, how the hell did you do that? I know 3 songs. Can't remember lyrics for shit.
It's
we
the
got more than
lyrics,
3 songs,
man.
Ryan. So this is
It's the lyrics.
Yeah.
We played 4 today. So damn, you were really.
He said something about I don't know if he showed up and played a gig with his iPad or, lyrics. And I guess his grandpa was a good musician too. And his grandpa kind of called him slow for reading on his iPad. And said,
Is that what he said?
Yeah. He said, if
Yeah,
you're
he's
going to be
you're cheating.
yeah,
Don't
he's
be
like,
cheating,
if you're
man.
going to be a
Don't be
real
cheating,
musician, you
son.
better learn the fucking words. And he said ever since then,
Well, what about Brady though and Fuzzy Pig?
oh yeah, Brady and
we're
Fuzzy Pig.
going off
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
so we went on a camping
Was it
trip.
2018? Was it 2018?
2019, I think. We went on a camp trip out to my place. I bought it while I was in the Air Force. Just woods.
One of those extra money things. I got a place to just.
Well, instead of blowing it on booze and strippers.
Well, part of that's already happened.
The rest, though, you mean
Some
the
that
rest
goes
of
that
the
way,
rest
some
of
goes
the-
that way.
thing, yeah.
I bought some land, but that's when you could afford it and it was,
Yeah.
reasonable. Now
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Hell
but
no.
so we went on a camping trip and we went to take some shrooms,
Oh, okay.
And we both never really messed with them. We put on like 4 hours of Led Zeppelin and just sat out there by a campfire and we were like, let's start a music festival.
Literally, what
Like a spore in your mind.
That was the idea that came from it.
sticking your
So
call spore in your
we're just
eye.
out there camping, and we had lights going, and it was a fun first experience with it, and and then now Fuzzy Pig's
Fourth year. Yeah.
fourth year.
So what? All right. Now it's a big.
We're kind of
skip.
skipping around.
Yeah,
here.
we're skipping because once the mushroom trip wore off and you had the conversation,
Love the
because
context of that.
a lot of people have had that a conversation similar about all the things they're going to do once they're on mushrooms, but then once the mushrooms wear off, you go, I'm just going to go back to work tomorrow, and everything else is back to So like, how far away was it from that conversation to all right? Well, this was happening. Was it within the same year?
It was probably in the fall of. We started Fuzzy Pig in 21.
Yes, it was the fall of 2020.
Fall of 2020.
So the next year, you literally got it.
And I
Cleared the land, built the stage with his dad. We got a generator out there. We got a day worth of bands, and I camped with Colin and Kendra out in freezing weather. And I don't know why I did that. I about froze to death, but she fixed me Kendra made a great breakfast the next morning.
Worth it.
About how many people about their first year? About 80 people.
100, I think, 100-ish.
It was just a
more
big
like-
old field party, basically.
Reasonable.
That's a
good time.
that's a lot of people for a first time festival. It
Yeah.
really is.
We had good bands, luckily. So
I
that
think
was
I think for me, what it was, the drunk ideas. You're at the bar and you got all these cool ideas, and the next day you're like, well, we got closer to I think we got seven bands, artists, for the first year, and it got close to time, and I was just like, I don't know about this, and I had one band was like, we've invited everybody. They basically gave me a deadline. They're like, you can't move it. You can't do there's people coming out. And so that gave me the push to be like, all right, this is fucking happening. And so it happened.
There's also some people that like to tell Ryan that it wasn't going to be anything special, that it was just going to be a little party out in the field. And that got him a little riled up to go out there and make sure that it was better than what people were expecting that it was going to be.
Yeah, it's okay, this is better than just a field party.
I'm petty. I'm very petty. so, I'm going to overdo some shit.
But then fast forward next year, we have 2 days full of music. And I think we had about 350 people out there, I was like, whoa.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, so it's just been kind of growing as we go along. And it just becomes a fun place to hang out for our friends that we look forward to doing.
Yeah.
We have so many awesome bands that most of the people we know, because we're out there gigging, most of the people that are on this festival are people we've played with and that we think would be good because we can curate it that way. And I think that's what gives us maybe a little advantage.
I'm certain that you all have a harder time just saying, look, no, you can't play. I'm sorry, we have enough. We have too many. We got these things. Or it's just you ask and people say yes, and then you are done. Because I think that's kind of the way. I'm sure that's not the way the first year happened. I'm sure it was a little bit of really trying to convince some people to do some things, and then
just a lot of friends that want to do something.
Well, and they know I'm sure at this point they understand that you're going to make sure it's good. You get into the second year and third year and into this year, I'm sure the evolution of the expectation becomes bigger and bigger every year. Does the responsibility feel bigger and bigger every year?
Yes.
Say that.
It's all on him, but I'm watching a lot of this, and I will say
it's stressful. I mean, it probably with y'all communicating with bands coming in, this and that. I'm dealing with between like solo artists and bands, I got like 29, 30 this year. And then vendors and
and he doesn't have any sponsors or anything like that
he's
either.
doing
So
all this
because he doesn't want to be
literally-
like give up, make it kind of a corporate type thing. So he hasn't really done that. So it's all his straight out of his pocket, basically.
Literally, he's done this out of his pocket, and then
To go from 100 people to 500
paying
people
to
last
park
year.
people, paying people to run the gate. Like, well, luckily we've got a good team of like people that we do work with, like 4 Inc. Great with t-shirts, some food trucks. Mama B's, I think, has worked with us.
Yep.
But it's been a learning experience for all of us, and we're lucky to have a group and a network of friends that are really cool. Shout out to Flash, the coolest guy ever, my old roommate, who's really I need to stay on top of this, maybe.
Yeah, our buddy Dustin.
that's good.
Yeah, our buddy Dustin, we call him Flash. He, I do most of the work leading up to it, and like the weekend of, I like to socialize and play. And I still work, but Flash is the man running it, and he does a killer job. And we couldn't do it without him.
Without him.
Definitely.
But yeah, we just got a team of people that's came back and helped every year, and it's tricky. It's tough. There's a lot of coordination.
People have a good time, and I think that's what keeps it going.
Yeah,
and
you
I mean,
said
you all
something
are
about
a good time. So I
we
feel like
try
that's
to
part of it.
keep. We got a keg for this year for the backstage,
Oh,
and
shit.
we might be doing some stuff with it on stage too. So we're gonna try.
So it is very, very interesting. The fact that there are no sponsors is I don't know if it's important or but the thing that I can speak to about that is the fact that when you do it like that, it's so true. It is such a true, like, that's what we do. We don't have any. I wish we had people that would give us money so we could buy microphones. And just like you guys wish that somebody would go, hey, I totally believe in what you guys are doing. It's the 4th year. I'm going to just give you $1,000. Here's the $1,000. Pay that person that takes tickets, so that's something you don't have to think about. Do this thing or pay something. You know what I mean? That you don't have to worry about selling the first ticket before, because I understand how it rolls. If you are out to people, if you say, hey, I need you to run sound, and they don't go, dude, I totally believe in you, I'll do it for free. That means I'll do it for $1,000 a day. I'll do it for this. Well, okay. That means we're in the hole. How much before we open the door? What if it rains? It's an outdoor. What happens if? There are no concessions for that. It gets real difficult. So doing it on blind faith, number one, and doing it without any type of net is admirable, number one, but it also allows those musicians, the people that are around you, that see what you're doing, the people that are after the first and second year seeing how it's going, they buy into what you're doing, because I think that if you aren't looking for a payoff, maybe at the end of it, there is one.
Yeah, well, the payoff is doing it. The payoff is actually
it.
playing and being there and seeing my friends play. You wouldn't do this if you wanted to make money, and Ryan could, I'm sure, attest to that. But
yeah,
you probably
payoff
wouldn't
is-
do this if you didn't say that. If your attitude wasn't that, do you even think about doing something like what?
Yeah, I mean, because if
guys
you were in
put on?
it for the money after the first year, you'd be like, oh, well, we lost some fucking money. Like, that's the end of it. And instead of that, it's like, no, like, this is a cool thing. Like, we talked before the podcast, you gave us posters of the lineup. I mean, the lineup is killer. This year, I'm very happy you asked me to be part of it. Like,
without a doubt, very
it's a
excited.
cool thing.
Right.
Like,
Earl
like I said,
Bowman,
you all
let's
are a
go.
good hang. Yeah,
Shout out
show
to
the
Earl
poster.
Bowman. He will be there.
Yeah,
rocking
and
out.
It's what y'all are doing is, I love little festivals. Like I said, met you at a little festival. I feel like when the less corporate a thing can be,
The cleaner it is.
It's a pure thing, and it's more fun. I mean, I love, like, I've gone to Bonnaroo and I've gone to like Bourbon and Beyond and these like big festivals, but there's something, that festival I went and met you at, one of the coolest things. I'll never forget that weekend.
Super influential.
Ever, so.
One of my favorite gigs I've ever been a part of.
There's a lot I don't remember about that weekend, but I will never forget it.
Yeah, it turns out, I was like, shout out to Donald Vish again. And we'll leave it at that.
But no, you're right. What the money part of it, like, it matters, but it doesn't. Like, it's, you got something you love to do. Like love music. I love my friends playing music. Like, let's little party. And it's gotten bigger, but that's what it's about.
Mhm.
Speaking of partying, man, I mean, this guy, I don't even think, he's running this thing. Last year, we're about to go on, and I see him right before. I was like, let's do this thing, man. The general kind of festival, thing. I'm like, he looked a little slurry, but, I'm sure it's fine. I've been there before. We've had gigs like that. You get on stage, I'm like, I don't know. He's playing guitar, but it seems good. But he sits behind the kit. And
Lights
dude,
out.
Lights out, man. Dude, I didn't see his eyes open the rest of the set. And there was certain songs we asked, can we do this? He's like, no. But like a clock, the rest of the set, you saw this man pure focus. I don't know what he was doing.
Here's what it was. He probably was stone cold sober. He was just exhausted. That was the only time that
It was
he
a
wasn't
meditative
being
space.
asked
That's
a
exactly what it was.
question.
Was that the case?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
With
See,
look, I've done some things in my life to where I'm kind of the guy. Hey, all the questions.
Oh,
come
you
to
are. Can I get your phone number?
No, I gave them all up because I don't want to be like that. But I know where you're at. Like example, I used to run a youth league. There were 250 kids,
Holy
a ton
God.
of teams, a million balls in the air. And yesterday I was driving to work and I saw that yesterday was youth league day for everybody. They're all doing their parades. They were doing stuff. I think a couple of you guys have kids. If you haven't been there yet, you're getting ready to be, where you do all this stuff and go through all, the cool parent stuff. It's fun. It's awesome. But when you're the person that's in charge of that, if I was also a coach. So when I actually got to go on the field and be a coach. So for that hour and a half, nobody could ask me a question. They couldn't ask me the Coke needs to be changed. Where is it? How do I do it? Hey, this person asked this question. So exhausting after the end of the day. But I could imagine for that time, you're like, dude, if I could, I'm going to take a nap while I play these drums because this is the only time I'm going to get.
We do that all the time. So I guess, yeah.
Then
I could imagine.
I think the Busch Light might have got me too.
But I mean, we play so often. We're pretty religious. There's weeks we take off, but pretty religious about once or twice a week for 5 years, being friends. So it was cool. It was kind of inspirational to me in a way because I'm like, wow, he's at really tight right now. He's not doing any fancy drum fills, but I think he's 50% unconscious, man. But he's not messing up. And I might be messing up more than him.
Dude.
And I got no excuse. So but I mean, so you got to be able to have fun like that so you can focus on the other stuff of the weekend because it's at the point now where we got to be a little bit more observant about everything that's going on. There's so much, stuff. So your set, it's almost okay, well, we do this all the time. That's not a concern. Well, we're going to practice for it. But really, I think the attention goes to making sure everything goes smooth for everybody else because it's more than just you at that point.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I guess another thing, a lot of my friends, family, even people have nothing to do with music, have, really been into it and have helped so much. And they deserve,
That's key.
My dad in particular, he's very good at building stuff, the stage. You mentioned turning people down. We had the one stage last year. It's hard to get acoustic acts when you could do a full band.
How many stages you got?
Well, we're calling it 2 this year, but basically I built a pole barn for, my equipment and stuff. But my dad was on that. So we're going to leave the front open and rig something up for the, the more acoustic stuff.
And then we have the main stage too. And that's going to, it's just as we go along, it just kind of evolves, We're got ideas about Fuzzy 5 that we're thinking about, but it's just you just got to gradually expand. Parking has been the biggest, I guess.
But parking's hard to do. It's just, I'm in the woods, I'm on a hillside. It takes a lot to put in a driveway.
Yeah.
500
You guys
people is a lot of people. That's a lot of cars. I mean, you should be really proud, to go from literally a shroom trip idea that so many people have had to now you got 2 stages and you're like, where the fuck are these people going to park? That is really cool. And
Think about
it's a good problem to have.
it is really a cool thing.
That is nuts.
It is nuts. It's not
nuts.
a backyard party y'all mentioned. There's vendors there. It's not just a campfire. Like
You
this
know-
Rumor has it there may be a podcast there.
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that would be cooler if we did.
Yeah.
We want it to happen.
we would love
Yeah,
that.
man.
It'd be
all
awesome.
right,
Absolutely
so
love that.
really
this
cool
is-
touch for it.
This is kind of
Real as it gets right here.
Real
I
as
mean,
it gets.
one
We-
shot,
we-
one mic, one song.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
so
We're in, man. I'm totally committed. I think it would be cool to get down there and bring the RV, set it up, hang out with the vendor, chill out, and get our friends in. Because what I love about this amazing lineup is not only I look at it and see half of it's been on our podcast. We got a couple people that haven't been on that are coming on, which means I'm going to totally want to see the rest of it, because if you all like it, I'm going to like it. They've obviously we mix here, and I think that is another cool part about the community that is being built by you guys, by the Monarch, by the Louisville Music Instagram pages, hopefully by us in some way, that somebody sees this and goes, oh, cool, I love Blind Feline and Fuzzstration. I'm going to go. And then they become fans of 15 other bands because of you guys.
that's the point.
Creating this lineup that started as an idea about a backyard. It's sometimes you got to step back, because when you're in looking
Yeah,
at
that's kind of
five,
what I was touching on. Like, yeah, I mean, because it's a cool thing. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
people have these ideas. Like, we've all had these high ideas, and you're like, this is the coolest shit. And then later you're like, well, that's not going to really work out.
That's
But this is
logistically,
it's
that's
not
the
going to
problem.
work. Yeah. And this is something that you sunk your money into. Like, it's your time, and like time is really valuable. Like, and I know how much time you have to have spent on this. I mean, I've messaged you about the festival a little bit. I'm sure there's bunches of people that have sent you messages. You're figuring
a
everything
couple.
out. Like, I hope you do step back.
I hope you buy more land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully at some
I'd
point
like
during the
to.
festival,
That'd
you
be
step
cool.
back and you can like take in what a cool thing that you're
Yeah.
doing. Like, all of
Yeah.
y'all, really.
take it.
And,
Ryan's
It's cool.
driving the ship, but we all try to help out. It's really a network of friends, but I can't emphasize enough how much Ryan Smith has done to make this happen.
Ryan was about 10 minutes after you guys because he was working.
Like
he was
normal.
busy. He was busy. Well, I mean, yeah.
I can't say anything.
when you're
that way all the time.
I really do want to emphasize, and I think it's important for you guys to do that. Ryan, maybe especially you on this end, to at the end of this, when Fuzzy Pig 4 wraps up, I don't know if you ever give yourself a second to take a step back and go, holy shit, because it is important. It is important, man. It really is. I think what you guys have created here is Todd would be proud. He was a supporter.
Yeah, look, we're actually going to be putting his name up on the stage there at Fuzzy Pig. Brady actually showed us that.
That'd be
some
another
stuff.
tier. As a
That'd be
dad,
another-
it would be another tier watching you guys succeed. But not only succeed in a way that, hey, it's cool that you guys put out some really good music and create this vibe, but that you're trying to do something positive. You're building something that really, to this point, hasn't made you rich. It doesn't make you, but it builds such a solid foundation for musicians and bands and the community.
Little festivals are so important. They're my favorite ones
Way
to
more
go
important.
to. Like, I mean, they're
Community, man.
It is.
I mean,
It is a
yeah.
community. It's not this big corporate thing where you're walking past all these booths where people are trying to get you to do dip and all this shit. Like, I was like, come into the dip tent. I'm like, I'm too fucked up to go into the dip tent.
All right, maybe
Like,
after another joint, I'll
pass
check it out. But,
It's cool. I mean, like I said, I met you at a little festival. Like, little festivals, and it's becoming more than a little festival, but it is still like, you know what I mean? Like,
we
at
wanted
least
to always have that kind of homegrown feel.
that's how
the-
it should be.
When there's little kids out there, like I didn't start playing music till I was about 15 or 16, and I played Guitar Hero, and it's like I played War Pigs. I'm like, you know what? Playing guitar, I never thought I'd be a person to play music, but I was like, maybe playing guitar would be pretty freaking cool.
Did you like slid right into it? Look at you with the big beard and hair.
Oh,
you were
thank
born
you.
to be a musician,
I didn't always.
bro.
My dad was the sheriff of our county for about 8 years. So
He arrested
I
hippies
kinda-
like you, my man.
Well, I'm about to spend some time in the county jail, but I'll say that. But
Eric, 66% of the band has.
that's another reason Todd like almost felt like another dad to me, man. It's like this whole nother thing. I love my dad, truly. He's an incredible
course.
man, of course. But Todd was like, it was a whole different experience when I go over there and play video games and just, it's like, man, your dad's written like over 200 songs. And some of them are like classically good, just amazing. Like they're all good. And some of them are like just straight hits, classic. I'd put them up there against almost any song, really. And it was cool to see that and talk to him. And like, I didn't have that when I was younger necessarily. Like my parents were big music lovers, but they weren't really musicians. And I didn't really, like I said, to get into that. But to see little kids out there dancing and watching the music and kind of see the next generation, like hopefully some sort of music love gets seeded in this crowd. I mean, hopefully the kids do whatever they want and succeed at it. But I would love to see the next generation of musicians kind of flourish in this area. And hopefully we play a small part in that for them coming out and seeing stuff, especially in the local community in Milltown, way out there. It's like, when are they going to get to see some of these top regional acts? I mean, we have some really, really cool acts coming out there.
Really good
Everybody
acts.
on this lineup, I think we're all happy, very happy with. So it's like, it's cool to see that people of all ages having a good time, and you can get rowdy, but you can do it, like the right way
In a
and
respectful manner.
respectfully. Yeah.
Hey, and if you can't, go relax somewhere.
Go
over there.
relax.
Exactly.
Well,
There's
yeah,
other
yeah,
room to
yeah.
go
Yeah,
other
man.
places.
Their
at
kids
Set up a
Fuzzstration.
hammock, man. You got nothing but time. Listen to some tunes.
That's one of my favorite things about it, just making like a family friendly thing.
Mhm. Totally.
Because like, man, when I was under 21, I remember all these shows that I couldn't go to and just being pissed off. Like, gosh damn, it's
Yeah.
21 only. I can't go see so-and-so.
I feel that.
Yeah. So like some of my earliest concerts were the Boat over in Indiana.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it was 21 only. But we go sit on the parking garage because you could see half the stage. So me and my cousin, we would go.
John?
Yeah, me and cousin John.
Our boss.
No.
Yeah,
our boss.
Shout out to John.
Shout out to John.
Did you
yeah.
watch the Dirk Bentley concert?
No,
Oh shit, I
we
was there.
seen-
I was gonna say, man, I had pretty good seats. I left. It was terrible.
He's got
Oh,
he's
no.
got a killer banjo player, man. I don't
Yeah,
know
but
who's
Dirks
playing
was
banjo
off
with that guy.
night,
but
man. I don't know
wow.
if he was too deep into something or other, but he was
was off.
terrible. He was terrible.
Really?
No,
Yeah, me and my wife, man, we were like, let's go. It's terrible.
That's
It's garbage.
crazy.
It's garbage.
no, that year or two, because his dad would drive us out, and we'd sit in the corner of the top parking garage, sitting at George Thorogood,
Ooh.
Stone Temple Pilots,
Whoa.
Alice Cooper, like there was
You had a good-
Boston was there.
No shit. Dude, yeah,
Damn, dude. That's pretty cool.
That's versatility.
I wish
right
I knew
there,
you back then.
Indiana.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
Fuck.
You know, that's the bands we were into growing up, like the
Yeah.
Stone Temple
70s and
Pilots,
80s.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, he climbed up the rafters and screaming
Oh.
that megaphone. And,
Dude, Scott Whalen. Dude, shout out to Tiny Music,
Shout
man.
out to
What a
Heroin.
good album.
Yeah. I mean, I will never ever do heroin or ever done it, but I mean,
Wait, we shout out
is
heroin right
basically
now?
Yeah, I did. I heard you said Scott Wild to shout out heroin, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. It's like, it called a lot of the grunge crowd. I will say that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's
I'm
kinda-
just
it's a
kidding,
sad
man. That
thing.
was
but-
terrible. I apologize. for
I
that.
do
That was
no,
bad.
it
That
is
was
what it is,
It
man. We
is.
can you can laugh
But
about
some
it,
of
you
my
can cry about
favorite-
it, or you can kind of laugh and be
I
like,
think
oh,
like Alex
fuck,
Chase,
you
some of
know?
my favorite musicians in the world. They're
I know.
awesome.
It's so sad
Miles
to think,
Davis.
like, gosh.
I saw
Yeah.
something cool, like a Facebook reel yesterday. Stone Temple Pilots. You know that Dead and Bloated?
Oh yes. I know what
Did
you're
you
going to talk
see it?
about. Say it yet.
He sang the intro to that song
guitar.
to guitar pickups.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. And they
That's
had-
really cool.
It
Oh,
had
blew
to have
my
been
mind.
through a Les Paul.
I think it was a Les Paul.
Had
those
to have
those
been.
micro. Oh, those hot
the
ones,
best
man.
guitar.
Hey, you were
No,
saying something.
negative.
You were on
Negative.
the stage.
Woo,
On the
negative.
stage
You're not
at
going to
Fuzzy
slip that
Pig.
in, dude. Les Pauls suck. They weigh too much.
They don't.
Yes.
Hey,
Hey, straps all the way.
Don't you
Straps
come
all
for
the
my
way.
don't you
Strat-
dare come for my Les
He was
Paul.
saying some nice stuff about a Strat last night, and he told me. Oh,
It's supposed to be
I
heavy
told him
enough.
too much.
Secret, but
But let's just say Strats are pretty nice.
Les Pauls make good firewood. Their pickups, their pickups are great.
Hey,
whatever.
double cut and SGs are monsters.
SGs,
and we gotta
you can keep
explore
those
that
too
kills.
because they got too much neck. It freaks me out. I can't take them.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. I love
I've heard
it,
too many
but
guys.
I'm with you on the Les
seen-
Pauls. I love the way people sound on them, but I could never get him to work for me. He does pretty good on a Les Paul.
I mean,
Les
they're
Paul.
don't get me wrong. They sound nice.
They're great guys.
amazing, and I love a Gibson acoustic. I love a J200 or a J45. Don't get me wrong.
This
You
man
can
likes
you
some
can keep
Jeff
your
Tweedy.
47-pound Gibson Les Paul all day. Give me a Strat.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess our main guitar is a Gibson Explorer.
Give me a Telecaster.
Roxy,
actually.
we call her Roxy, man.
Roxy,
That thing.
3X is triple X.
Yeah, Roxy or Sting. The
Yeah,
Strat.
Sting is a
That's-
Strat. Those have been our main ones for we switch them in and out, but that Strat and that Explorer. Okay, when you need a little bit more spank, we go the Strat. You know, certain things. Eric typically goes, dude, that Explorer, rip your head clean off, man. Just a shred factory.
I do. One of my favorite is the 335. Man, I gotta
Yeah.
say that Gibson 335 is a
Yeah.
monster.
It is.
Yeah.
I love
That
that.
sounds
thing.
so sweet.
I'm just a Les Paul hater for life.
You're
It's
speaking
too
my
heavy.
language, brother.
Too heavy, man. It's just
Well, you definitely don't need to play bass on a jazz bass,
I'm
man.
gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit when I
That's
play
so
bass.
one-
shit. It's
Look
like
at
a
one, two,
hey, look at
three,
this.
people
stone on your arm,
Hey,
man.
look at this.
Albatross.
Look at like this is my bass sitting. I can sit and play bass.
It's bad
You
enough
see
to
it?
play bass in general, but to be that heavy, it's like they're really trying to throw you through the fucking ninth circle here, aren't they? Shout out to I love bass, you know. Like, yeah. Shout out
Been
to
playing some bass.
shout out to Colin. Yeah, he's gonna.
Yeah, call Lemire.
Kyle, man.
our
And he
Villamere.
also runs Enchanted. Does he still run Enchanted Forest?
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
he's a complete monster in
Doing
every
a lot of
facet. But
stuff.
we have a sticker of him that we got a Fuzzy Pig 3 or 2, I think. Somebody printed out a picture of his face in a bird mask, and I put it right over there, looking at where my fingers would rest playing the bass. I'm like, okay, so you can detail my right hand technique and tell.
Yeah, he's still
He's-
there.
he's
so
always
if you look at the
watching us,
footage,
yeah.
you can see his little face on the on the bass.
He is on that. You know, shout out to
Love
Colin,
Villamere,
man.
man. They're
they're
one of my
awesome.
favorite bass players.
Truly
Villamere
awesome.
is their set
yeah.
their set at
Some.
Moonshadow was transcendent. I will have to say.
You know what? I will say, I do believe, and probably because they just had the kid. So I mean, that takes a little bit of. You got to have a little bit of. They're not talked about enough.
Not at all.
Not talked about
They should
enough
be-
because they are so good.
insane. My buddy Ethan, who I was in my last band with, is their drummer.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
the best musician
He-
I've ever met. He's
so
insane,
Ethan
and they're
wasn't
all
with
so
him.
good. I mean,
Ethan
it's
wasn't
crazy.
with them when they were on the podcast, so we got to get them back with
They're-
Ethan on the podcast.
You need to get
But
Ethan.
man,
Oof.
He's a monster.
just-
All three of them are
they're
just
saucy
great
as hell,
people,
man. They're
insane.
so good.
not talked about enough for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
For sure. And there's a lot of bands like that, but them in particular.
I was gonna say, man, I could say that about you guys. I could say that about Earl. I could say that about a lot of bands that come through here. There's so much talent. There's so many. And that's why I love this lineup, because I think you guys address a lot of that. I think you guys kind of have found, the elements of sound and the Blind
buddies.
Felines, which Blind Feline gets some play, but more people should know Blind Feline.
No,
Both them and Elements, man. They're both incredible bands.
Elements
Justin's one of the
are
best
amazing.
singers I've ever met, man.
Justin's crazy. I mean,
crazy.
he's
I mean,
so
all those
awesome.
guys are great
This
musicians.
guy right here, of course.
Earl.
Yeah,
Spencer will be with him playing guitar. Nick Teal,
Heck yeah.
who's ridiculous.
Monster.
I can't wait to watch Digitronic. I can't wait to watch Grudge. There's so much that I can't wait to watch. Sad Black Lab, who's going to be on here actually like a couple weeks after that. We may have him on the remote RV cast.
That sounds like a
so
treat
we'll
right
see.
there, man. Oh my
Yeah.
gothic
Yeah.
beauty. I mean,
So-
just straight up.
Yeah, man. Before we leave, just a big shout out to you guys for what you are doing, because it is big. It's huge. It's important. I know we kind of got away from the music, which is I can't speak enough about, because we started there. We started with the vibe that you guys created, and I think that maybe sometimes Fuzzy Pig kind of overshadows what you do as a band, because it's also one of those things, like, you all don't get enough recognition for what you're doing as musicians. And I totally feel that. So also take time to play, take time to get out there, take time to get yourself out there. And I hope that, not only do we help promote the Fuzzy Pig, but we also help you guys get a kind of foothold, because I think you guys are spectacular musicians. I think the vibe you create and the songs you write and the landscape that you create with what you guys do is awesome. So big time thank you for coming on. Before we leave, we definitely got to ask where people can find you, where they can get tickets to the festival, where they can find your music, all those things. Please speak to before we get out of here.
I'm going to talk first real quick and just say we are working on recording our first full-length studio album, and we just did all the tracking over at Colin Lemire's house that we've been talking about.
Right on.
Over at Chalet, Lemire here. I don't know what their studio name is, but I'm doing a little side project with them too. But we just did all the skeleton tracking. We're about to start overdubbing at Eric, so hopefully by Fuzzy 5 we have a full album out for y'all. So as a band, we're very excited about that. We're gonna be working trying to work tirelessly on that. So, but I'll leave it to Ryan and Eric to kind of finish up here.
Say, do you want to stream it or do you want to play it on a vinyl?
Ooh.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a vinyl.
We want to do vinyls.
It'd have to be a
If
double
you get a
album.
vinyl, I'm definitely gonna have a vinyl. I've got 3 vinyl records. I got 3 records.
Go big with everything. It's kind of like the festival. Like,
yeah, I mean, come on. Wait. Let me just say this. So, there's no way you're gonna do a vinyl, Ryan.
Okay.
You spoke magic phrase.
We get the vinyl, my man.
That's all it really takes.
Tell this man he can't do something and give him a case of Busch Light and watch him prove you wrong. I've seen it many times.
I didn't know about I'll bring the Busch Light later. You can't do the vinyl. There's no way.
There's no way, Ryan. Not at all.
But yeah, we're on all the streaming platforms out there. We use the Disco Kids, so everything's on there. Spotify, Apple Music, whatever else is out there. Fuzzstration, if you look us up, we're on there. We've got an old EP that we did before we even ever played our first show that we recorded, and then we've got the EP we got like another little live EP from Gravely when we played there.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Nate, Justin's drummer.
Yeah, Nate recorded that without telling us.
Nate is awesome.
Nate's a good dude, man.
Nate is awesome.
Nate is in the pocket all the time.
He's one of the coolest guys I know.
In the back, just does his stuff.
That's it.
And just
he's a quiet assassin, dude.
Quiet. No. There's a lot of Matt from Doomgong and Blind Feline. I think about him for that too.
Matt?
Yeah,
dude, Griff.
Yeah. Oh,
Griff, dude, he's awesome.
He's just right there in your neck.
He's
right when he needs to.
He's I love that guy. I love those guys.
But we're on Fuzzstration on Facebook. Where else are we at?
And we got
Fuzzy
the website,
Pig Fest.
yeah, fuzzstration.com, fuzzypigfest.com.
Our buddy Flash made that for us, and once again, shout out to Flash again.
But yeah, all information for Fuzzy Pig is on fuzzypigfest.com. Is there tickets? Can you buy beforehand, or is it all at the gate?
It's at the door.
At the door.
I don't think it's cash. Is it cash only?
Cash only. Cash only.
But it is the 26th and the 27th, so the end of April, right between Derby and Thunder. So if you're looking for something to do that weekend, I think for the price, and you really, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, the cool thing about it, like money wise, it's not the smartest thing, but like just throughout the year, just someone at the bar coming up that I know or whoever just being like, I had so much fun that weekend. It was highlighting my year, stuff like that. It's what it means.
Yeah,
to me.
people getting to see all these other bands that they've never heard of that come out to Milltown, Indiana.
Give a shout out to Awful Eddie.
Awful Eddie, young guys coming up.
They were just kind of starting a band, and they camped right by the stage. The whole band, they camped by the stage. And after that weekend last year, they're like, we need to get on it. And now they're out there.
They're playing this year. They got right on it.
And I watched them in Corden, Indiana play, and I was like, you guys ought to play. So they were super stoked about it. I'm super excited to see them play it.
Dude.
The new generation come up.
Cool inspiration. It was just they're pumped up about it. And it's kind of like the kick they had to be like, we need to do this. Like, look at all these guys.
That's got to be pretty awesome.
It's cool.
Knowing those kids were sleeping by the stage a few years ago, hoping, someday.
They're ones to watch, man. But, I mean, there's a lot of ones to watch around here, I'll say that. And hopefully we have a good amount of them out there at this festival. So,
well, before the ticket price, what is the ticket price? Is it daily or do you do weekend passes?
Yeah, I'm doing daily this year is $20 per day. or 30
crazy.
for the weekend.
Insane.
And then $20 a camp, and that's per tent or hammock. So if you come by yourself for the weekend, want to put a tent up, $50.
Is there a parking fee this year? We're trying to encourage people to carpool. So we'd like to emphasize this.
You really should carpool.
We're trying to get people to carpool because one person showing up.
All right, this is just a stupid suggestion because you pulled up and saw the yard, and we thought about doing something, and there's obviously limited parking. So what if you did like, all right, it's $20 a day or $50 a carload, because that would encourage people to be like, all right, we'll pull 4 people in the car. You're going to lose a little bit of money, $60, $70 a carload. So you save $10, but you get 4 people in a car instead of 2 people in a car.
We might have to work on
That's-
the
you know,
number a little bit,
we
but like,
always-
that's
maybe
a good idea.
$100 a car, like
not even 100, but like just
something a carload.
But that's a
that
good idea,
encourages
yeah.
more people to ride together to save, because people save $10 cash, especially if they're knowing it's cash. It's like
it's just something we got to stay
more
on
money
top
for
of.
beer. I
It's-
don't know.
Last
Yeah,
year we
there's-
cleared more parking this year, but it's just like that's always been like almost the limiting reactant.
Yeah.
Is the parking is like
Yeah.
getting that situation squared away. Strangely, you wouldn't think so with all the other considerations, but that seems pretty smooth. Some
Yeah.
parking
Because you can go, all right, we can have 700 people with 200 cars, or we can have 200 people with 200 cars. We really need you all to think about this because we've got 200 spaces, or whatever, because that's something that we've thought about is like, how would we do it because we've got, say, 100 spots to park people, would we do it by carload? Because if they're paying $100 a car, one person doesn't want to pay $100. They're going to go, well, then we'll just bring 4 people. That's $25 a piece. Sweet, $100 a car. We'll all just ride together. So I don't know. That probably all needs. That's just
I like the
inside
idea.
baseball
I'll
stuff.
do
I
that.
don't know, but
It's tricky.
once y'all figure it out, let me know because we got to figure something out.
Yeah, we'll get together on it.
We'll
work
figure it
something
out
out.
eventually.
Bring over another bottle, maybe.
There you go.
Some other
Bring 2
stuff
next
too.
time. I think
We'll
we
bring
finished that
2.
last one about an hour ago.
Yeah, I know. We might
Yeah,
we might have underestimated our appetites here.
Yeah,
We
that's how we do things.
All right. Well, before we leave, I've got to say, make sure you check out Earl Bowman Music on Spotify, also on Instagram. Spencer Corbin Customs for his luthier work. Also, please subscribe to Top Hill Recording Podcast on YouTube, Top Hill Recording Podcast on Instagram. Shout out to Brad Weston for the new swag on these microphones. Speaking of best swag in the game, Fuzzstration, you guys. So make sure that you all
Thank you.
order, do those things that you need to. Get some stickers. I think that one was upside down. There you go. Now it's fixed. Get some shirts, do those things. Bring cash out to Fuzzy Pig because there is going to be a vendor truck. There's also going to be, which I don't know how the food truck works. They may have Venmo, but just bring cash to be prepared. Check out the website for details. But also, again, make sure you subscribe to Fuzzstration, Fuzzy Pig, Earl Bowman, Spencer Corbin Customs, and Top Hill Recording
Top Hill.
Podcast. And we'll see y'all next time.
Can I shout out my
Please do.
just my fiance Brittany Reese? She was going to be here today, but she ended up going hiking with her buddy. But I just want to shout her out.
Of course, she was
Yeah,
like,
so-
"Well, you sound like you're sick." I'm not
Yeah,
gonna-
you sound like
I'm
you're
not
sick.
gonna
I don't
get-
want to be hanging out with
I'm
you.
not going to
but,
chill out in the room with you.
He hasn't recovered from last
Shout out,
week.
No,
shout out to my wife, Casey. Love
Good
you.
man.
And my son, Walker. So.
Walker. Is his middle name Texas Ranger like on Walker,
It's actually
Texas?
Atlas.
Walker
but-
Atlas
cool.
Rhodes. Think about how awesome that name
Dude,
is.
that's
He's
a-
destined to be like the third in the line.
That's a lot of expectations in
You're
that
right.
name, my man.
That's what I'm saying. But shout out again to Moon Shadow too. Like my voice still had. That's the reason there ain't no harmonies on these songs. You guys know how to party.
Ryan, we're
So-
not leaving without you shouting somebody out, man.
Oh, let's
Mullets
shout
of
out.
America.
Let's shout out everyone that's helped me with Fuzzy Pig. My dad especially.
Pop sounds like the dude.
He's
Pop
on
sounds
it.
like the dude,
it wouldn't
man.
happen without him.
That's what it sounds like.
The guys behind the scenes are.
You know what? Of all the bands and things that I want to see and all the things that I want to do when we head up to Fuzzy Pig and hang out, the number one thing I want to do is meet your dad.
He'll be on a horse.
I'll find it.
we got a whole dude.
Yeah, we got a whole horse
we got
route that
horse
comes
riders
through.
I'll
that
probably
come out.
find that guy. So I'll be sure to say hello.
We got a group of 10-20 that ride horses out every year.
God damn it. So point him out, would you? Could you do that for me?
They'll be
Just
coming
say,
over.
sure.
The
Where's
Battle
that
of
at?
Helm's Deep is happening. They'll be cresting the hill.
Yeah, you want to get them excited, slap that horse on the ass.
You get them excited, put some taps in their water. Not encouraging that.
You're coming.
Jesus.
Yeah,
All
just everyone that's helped, and yeah, it's cool to see it, happen again. So,
All right. Well, make sure to take a week off after this last one before we get to Fuzzy Pig 5. Till then, fellas, appreciate you.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you, guys.
appreciate it.